Hi everyone, welcome to Jules Reads. Thank you so much for being here for another weekly wrap-up. And this is where I will talk about the things I did this week, the books I finished this week, the books that I'm currently reading, and the books that I want to read in this upcoming week. And then also just kind of what I watched on TV or movies and what my plans are personally for the week coming up. So let's get started with what I did this week. So I decided to stop drinking alcohol probably, well, I know exactly when it was. It was November 8th. So I went a month without drinking and I made that anniversary. I hit that anniversary on Friday. So that was really fun. I probably haven't done that since I was, let's be honest, 13 years old, and just being really honest on this channel. So that was amazing for me and I'm really proud of myself. So I think that's great. And I wanted to share that. So the other thing that we did, well, one thing was, if you can see over here, there's a walking pad now. It's like a treadmill. And my husband built me this amazing stand-up desk. Let's see if we can. So he took part of my desk that's here now. It was a corner desk. And he took the piece, the other corner piece, and made it into a standing desk. So now I can walk as I'm working. Now I would say I can't really do high focus work, but I think I got like 12,000 steps when I did it the first time on Friday. So that's my goal now. So I did the not drinking for 30 days and I'm going to continue to do that mostly. At least not drink as much as I was, and then that might want to get my step count at 10,000 steps a day for the next month and continue that as a habit. So we'll see if I can accomplish that. So far it's been great. You don't even realize that you're walking if you can do some work. Emails are perfect, or even like editing a video like for YouTube. So I was walking 2 hours and I had no idea that I walked that far or that many steps. So I did have to, I have a Fitbit and I had to put the Fitbit on my ankle, and so I'm not sure exactly how accurate it is, but that is how I figured out how to do that. I don't know if there's a better way to do that when you have a Fitbit, because you're not moving your arms are on the desk. So that is with that. And then something we did last night, we decided, so we live in Minnesota and we last year got to be so dark and dreary. The amount of snow that we got last year was crazy. So we decided to this year do a winter bucket list and things that we could do to get outside of the house and have some fun this winter. So we did our first thing last night. It kind of turned out to be a dud. It was a light show near the Vikings training camp or training facilities. It wasn't hosted by the Vikings, but I think it's a national company that does it, and it was just, I've seen way better local ones than this national one, and it was $40. So you're like, well, we can only go up from here for our winter adventure. So we did that last night, but we had fun with my stepson and his fiance, and we went out to eat and had a great time with them. So we did that this week. So what I watched this week, well, one thing of what I watched, it will relate to a book that I read this week. So I will wait to talk about that one. But I have been watching Game of Thrones again for the probably 10th time through. But what I tend to do at night when I relax is I'll put a TV show on that I've watched a half dozen times, like X-Files. Oh, X-Files is probably the most. Dexter is a common one. And now Game of Thrones again. So I'll put that on and then watch my YouTube as well. So there's something on in the background. So I'm not fully paying attention, and I know a lot about what happens because I've watched it so many times. So I've been watching that. And then we watched Love Actually. My husband and I watched that. We usually tend to start watching Christmas movies about this time. So we watched that one. That's one of my favorite movies. I was realizing that there is some problematic things in it now that it's been probably over 20 years since it was released, or maybe just 20. So there is some problematic things, but I still really love it and it warms my heart. My favorite, he asked me actually, what's your favorite storyline, like love couple in this? And I said it has to be the guy whose wife cheated on him. If you haven't watched this, skip ahead. The guy whose wife cheated on him, and then he's a writer, and a girl that comes to kind of take care of the house, she only speaks Portuguese and doesn't speak English, and he's an Englishman, so the way they have to communicate with each other, and then their story is just, I love that story. So that's my favorite storyline in that movie. So let's get started with what I read this week, so then I can talk about the other movie I watched. So let's talk about that one first. And that is Breakfast at Tiffany's. So this is by Truman Capote. I actually listened to this on audio. It's narrated by Michael C. Hall from Dexter, and I just love him. I saw him on Broadway one time in, what was that? I'll think of it and post it here. So I just love him, and he does an amazing job narrating this book. And even sometimes it annoys me when men try and do women's voices and they, raise the pitch of their voice, or vice versa, women doing men. But he did a really good job, and it was not annoying to me at all. And I really liked it. I was surprised. I had watched the movie many, many years ago. I've watched it several times. But probably the last time I watched it was 15 years ago. And I was thinking as I was listening to it, this is so different. The book is so different from the movie. And I can't really talk a lot about the differences without giving spoilers. But there's some things that they change from being what actually Holly does, Holly Golightly, and they change it to actually the male lead in the movie doing. I was like, oh, because I suppose way back then in the 50s, 60s, it wasn't appropriate for a woman to be doing that. So that was interesting, but it's in the book. There is some definitely problematic things in here and the movie, and some racist things. So that is why I gave it a 4-star instead of a 5. And I hate the excuse, well, it was a different time back then. I hate that. But loved it. It's a really quick audio read. It's a really quick book too. And I think it was about 3 hours long. And he is an amazing narrator. So loved that. Watched the movie. I love Holly Golightly, but I was looking at it from a different kind of lens now that I've actually read the book. So that was fun. And then the other book that I finished this week, read and finished, is a manga, and it's called Blood on the Tracks. And I read volume 1. I love mangas, but my problem is I don't typically read series, and most mangas are huge series. And so I will read the first one and then just not carry on, because I can't be bothered. I don't know what it is. I just can't. This one, I want to immediately get volume 2. This is a psychological thriller, and it is about a family that you think is all normal, and then all of a sudden there's a turn, and it gets dark, and this mother is very protective of her son, and I think there's something behind that. So we didn't learn in this book what that is, but it does get dark in here, and I literally went, oh! I loved it. It's a psychological thriller. Turn to page in the front. The graphics are amazing, and I really loved it. So I love reading mangas and graphic novels. I love art, so it kind of combines that love of reading, that love of art. Love it. I don't necessarily always know which ones to get, so if you have any manga or graphic novel ideas, let me know. I would love to have some ideas of ones that I could pick up. So I do have my little notes here because I can't remember what I want to talk about. So those are the 2 books that I read this week. And then the books that I bought this week, or that arrived, so one came from Blackwell's in the UK, and it's Water by John Boyne. So John Boyne wrote The Heart's Invisible Furies, which is my favorite book of all time, and I have never read another book by him, and I need to start doing it to see if he's actually a favorite author. And this one is not published in the United States yet, So I ordered it from Blackwell's, which, by the way, if you don't know, you can order from Blackwell's and there's no cost to ship to the US, and it usually is cheaper than Amazon. I'm not kidding. So this is a book that I can't get my hands on in the US, and it was shipped. It does take a couple weeks, for obvious reasons, but I'm excited to read it. It is a shorter side, so I'm excited to get started on this and see if he could become a favorite author of mine of all time. The other book that I bought is Joan Didion, Play It As It Lays. This is my second Joan Didion book that I've bought recently, not having read a Joan Didion book before, but I just have this feeling that I will love her. So I'm excited to get into this one, and also the other one that I just recently bought as well. And then the next book, I bought 3 books this week. The next book is The Book of Lost Names by Kristen Harmel. And this has really high ratings on Goodreads, like 4.4 maybe, with over 100,000 reads. And I don't know necessarily what it's about. It does look like it's a historical fiction, and it takes place, looks like, in Paris or France. There's an Eiffel Tower in the back. The Eiffel Tower in the background. So I'm excited to read this. I do have kind of an idea for a vlog type video of what I could do with a theme similar to this one. So I'm excited to maybe try that out to do a vlog. I haven't done a vlog on this channel yet, but it might be fun. And so I'm looking for ideas, and this was one of them. I was like, ooh, I could do something with that theme. And then, so those are the 3 books that I bought this week. And the only other thing, so the books that I'm currently reading are, I'm still reading Anxious People, or maybe, I don't know, I'm over halfway. I love this, so it's really quirky. There's quite a few characters, and they're quirky. Frederick Bachman has a way of writing characters where you should really not like them, but you end up loving them. And that's the way it is for almost all of these characters. There's a couple I really don't like, but they're funny. So I'm really having a good time. This is a bank robbery gone bad, and he ends up in an open house in an apartment building with a bunch of people holding him hostage. So it's all these characters that are in this open house. There's a couple that's obsessed with IKEA furniture, and oh my gosh, it's hilarious. It's also heartwarming, as Frederick Bachman does. So I'm really enjoying this one. And the other one I'm still working on is Night of the Living Rez. I haven't really made progress on this one. I thought, I'll just read, it's 12 short Indigenous stories, and I thought, I'll just read one a day. No, let's be realistic. I got so many things. So haven't made progress on this, but I am enjoying it, and I will still continue to work on that. So the only other book I want to, and I do have an audiobook that I am listening to, which is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. And I've heard that the sequels are better than this first one, which isn't necessarily always the case. So I'm really enjoying this. I am finding myself tuning it out a little bit, which I do sometimes with audiobooks. So I am tuning out some of it, but I'm really liking it. So it takes place like in a senior living or senior apartment type facility. It's not like senior care. It's just where seniors live. So for this week, the only book that I think I'm going to pick up in addition to my finishing Anxious People and Night of the Living Rez is I do have in 2 weeks, we have our book club. My personal book club is meeting for brunch to celebrate Christmas and to talk about our December book pick, which I haven't started yet. It is Daughter of Fortune by Isabel Allende, and I do not know how to pronounce this, but this is the book, so I need to get started on this because I have 2 weeks to finish it. It is a little chunkier. So looks like it's 440 pages. So I will get started on this week and let you know what I think about it next week. And then my favorite booktube video of the week was actually, her name is Heather, and she's with Reading with a Vengeance is her YouTube channel. And I just watched her November wrap up. She's sassy, funny, which is, I like that kind of thing, is just, she tells it like it is. So I really enjoyed her video, and I just wanted to give her a shout out. And then my plans for this week, so I do have another YouTube channel. Well, I have a couple. I have a cooking one called Pinch and Dash, and then I have a kind of a crafting one, but mostly lately all I've been doing is glue booking. And if you don't know what glue booking is, I can show you. It's a weird hobby, but there's people out there that love it. So you take magazine images and you cut them out, and then you paste them together how you see that they should go together. So I don't know if you could see that, but so that channel is called Jules Journals, and I really love doing this. So I started a 19-day challenge where I was going to post a video every single day for 19 days doing this, and I failed epically, but I need to finish that. I'm like on day 15. So I need to wrap up some videos there for that channel and all of that. So if you're interested in glue booking, I think that, again, it combines the crafting and the art. So that's why I really like it. And then for cooking, I'm not sure if I'm going to post anything on my cooking channel, but I really have an inkling to make Julia Child's beef bourguignon. And I have made it before, and it's amazing. And it's actually not that difficult. It does take a long time, but it's not that hard. And so I do have an inkling to make that. So I might make that next weekend and post it on that channel. And then, but I do need to make some fall, I call them fall winter breads. They're like, there's a cranberry orange bread, there's zucchini bread, and pumpkin bread, and lemon poppy seed bread. I think it's just poppy seed. I don't think I put lemon in it. These are my grandma's recipes. So a lot of videos on my Pinch and Dash channel are recipes that my grandma, I call her Nana. We call her Nana. She is passed now, but I've been making all of her recipes. I have a huge book of her recipes, so I've made a ton on there. If you're interested in some kind of old-fashioned recipes that are just delicious, there's some good ideas on there, and usually they're quite quick. But I do have that bread recipe on that channel as well. But I want to make those next weekend, both for gifts and for us for the Christmas holiday. And I need to make some cookies, which I am not a baker, so we'll see how that goes. But a baker as far as sweets go. I do make those good breads. But so I want to make cookies. I want to make butterscotch haystacks and then something else to bring to work. We're doing like a cookie exchange. So I need to get that done next weekend. And then the Vikings, I have my Minnesota Vikings shirt on. They're playing today at 3 against the Raiders, so I'm sure we'll watch that. It's been a weird season for the Vikings with a new quarterback, another new quarterback. So it's been an interesting season, and they're doing half okay. I don't know. I'm sure it's like this for a lot of teams, but it's just, there's a shirt that says consistently disappointed since 1961, I think is the year that they started. But just always disappointed, but I'm still a Vikings fan. I think that is all I wanted to talk about. I appreciate you guys being here, and I hope you all have a great week. Thanks for watching.